Awesome. Yeah, thanks, MTS. So I'm Chandler. I'm a product marketing manager here at Guru, and I'm just going to share two quick examples about how our product marketing team uses Guru Analytics internally to inform some of our messaging and positioning strategies. So first, I just want to give a little bit of background. The types of knowledge that our product marketing team creates is very focused on sort of messaging, positioning, and talk tracks. So it's more like behind the scenes information geared towards helping our revenue teams have better customer-facing conversations. So some examples include we make feature breakdown cards, which kind of give like ways to talk about certain features, customer stories to tell. We do competitive battle cards, so like how to speak to different solutions that other people might be evaluating. And we make talk tracks to accompany our slide decks. So again, the goal is to help people have better conversations. And since the knowledge we create is really geared towards informing conversations, we can kind of use the analytics and the insights from those cards to kind of understand what types of conversations are happening. So we use a little bit of qualitative feedback through analytics to kind of understand what our teams are talking about. So we dig into the talking points that different teams are using and who they're talking to just sort of gauge interest in different features and different talking points that are most interesting to prospects or customers. So an example of that is we recently redid our pitch deck. And here you can see a screenshot of the pitch deck. And so the way we use Guru to support our slide decks is we like to keep our decks like very visual, not a lot of words here. This example, you can see my friend Dylan screaming. There's not a lot of text on the slide to kind of give you context. We really want our reps to have like real-time conversations. And so to do that, we don't put all the notes in the note section of the deck, we put them into Guru cards. So each slide has its own Guru card that walks them through. Here you can see an example for this problem slide. It's like the goal of the slide. Here's the talk track, here's some customer stories. And they can really pick and choose to have these very custom conversations. And so MTS, if you go to the next slide for me. So what we did when we just redid our slide deck was we rolled it out to a small group of account executives just to start before training the entire team on it. And so originally we had, I think it was 5 slides. So we had they're in a weird order here, but we had the title slide, we had the problem slide, then we had just sort of a general solution slide, then we had a Guru specific solution slide, and then we had next steps. And so it was a quick little pitch deck. And as the test group was using this, we kind of dug into the analytics and we noticed that very few people were using the talk track slide for the solution slide. And so we hadn't heard any feedback from the reps yet, but we saw in analytics that no one was using this slide. So we dug into it and asked them what was going on. And as it turns out, they found that slide really repetitive and confusing and they were skipping it. So no one had bothered to tell us that yet, but we could see it in the analytics and talk to them about it. And because of that kind of qualitative feedback, we ended up deleting that slide. So really interesting way. Oh, sorry, Chaz, there's an animation here that'll highlight that solution slide. There we go. But so yeah, it was cool to be able to kind of like understand rep behavior without hearing that from them directly. So that was just one example. And then one other way that we use analytics, we can sort of understand what different audiences internally are using and who they're speaking to externally. So this example here features our feature breakdown cards, which give sort of like an overview of new features we're creating and includes screenshots and videos and talking points and how to explain these features to different audiences. So the screenshot on the left here in green is our sales team. And so these two groups are AEs and ADRs who mostly speak to prospects who are not Guru customers and are therefore less familiar with Guru. And then on the right, I compared it to our account managers and our CX team who speak to customers who are very familiar with Guru. So some interesting things we can see here is sort of like which of these feature breakdown cards these two different groups are using to understand which features are more interesting to those external audiences. So on the right, we see that drafts is the most used card to talk to current customers, which makes a lot of sense because if you're a Guru user, you've been looking forward to drafts for a while, I'm sure. And then on the left, Microsoft Teams app was our most used card to talk to non-customers. So a lot of our existing customers, since we've only had a Slack integration so far, our Slack shops. But now that we offer Microsoft Teams, we have non-customers who are interested in that. So a lot of these make sense, but it's always cool to like just kind of get a bird's eye view of which ones are being used most to talk to different people. And then we can also sort of drill into like Guru team specific information. So if we notice that the screenshot in green, our sales team who talk to prospects are using these cards a lot more than our internal, than our post-sales teams, we can kind of spend a little bit more time tailoring the content on these cards to speak to prospects and give more real estate to that like external non-Guru customer messaging and positioning within the cards. So that's it for me. I think we can take a couple of questions if anybody wants to sort of dig into these examples, but if not, I'm very excited to pass the mic to Andy and Kelby.